give us a little bit of background about you, because I think people should know your pedigree, so to speak.
I am most known for co-founding and being the CEO of Tether and creating the stable coin and launching it, but that is definitely in the past. And since then, I've created many other companies that I'm very excited about. So it was amazing to bring the stablecoin to life. And you have to rewind back to 2013 when nobody had ever heard of Bitcoin or blockchain, and they had no idea the use cases that would be there. You got to think of the internet back in like 93 or 4 when they'd go on the news and people would be like, oh, well, it's like the radio on the computer. They didn't really know. And so when we had the concept of moving money like Bitcoin, they're like, well, what's Bitcoin and why would I want to move money like that? And so it's just been a real interesting transition. And now 10 years later, starting up more and more companies, and this session is about what does it take to start a company in 2024. There are a number of things that have changed, especially in this industry, but overall it's having that vision, having an understanding of the landscape and a belief in it, because you might feel like you understand the landscape, but nobody knows. You just have to have the optimism and the belief and to really, really go for it and follow what you feel is right. And here's the thing. You know, I've started about a dozen companies in my life, and especially early on, I had a lot of enthusiasm, and a lot of the ideas were terrible. And people older would say, you know, this isn't a good idea, you can't go down that path. But I still say you need to forge ahead, mainly because even if it is a failure, because a lot of times those older people with more experience do have a lot of insight and are correct. But that's okay, because you still need to learn for yourself. You still need to make a lot of those mistakes. You want to take as much advice as possible, but you also have to learn a lot of these lessons that only your personal experience can provide. So that's one of my things, is just stay the course, have the vision, and really learn a lot of lessons along the way.
So a lot of founders, especially serial founders, at some point say, okay, that was fun. Now I want to kind of transition into the investor sit-back LP role. But here you are in Dubai, still doing that OG founder stuff. What's your secret sauce?
Well, for me, it's also every time you search for information or listen to people about why start up a company and what kind of company start up, it's what are you passionate about and what really turns you on, and then focus on that. And for me, what I found over the years, it's the inception, the concept, the ideation, like coming up with an idea and producing it. So I also, instead of being a founder, I also like to say I kind of produce companies, because you have the idea, you bring in the team, you get the money, you put it together, and you birth it. It's similar to creating a movie. That's what the producer does. Like the gentleman that just came up here and talked about fan engagement, right? We've been ideating on fan engagement for many years. And so BlockV evolved into Smart Media Technologies. And Smart Media Technologies was just selected by Visa to be their global Web3 wallet provider. And the global, I mean, which was great, but the reason why it was interesting, thank you. The reason why it's really interesting for the fan engagement, we just did a big campaign at the Olympics. And so all the fan engagement revolves around these tokens. You'd get a token, it pops open, and it was the Olympic mascot, that little bird, and it would be gamified and you'd earn points. And now it's evolving into delivering on the promise of Web3.
What is your experience with finding the team, and does the team, especially the executive level, do they share the same passion as you do if they're not the idea originator? Because usually the founder or the founder's team is the idea originator. I think in this case, you're the idea originator, you're the team former, but then someone else is, you're not past it, you're kind of in an interesting middle position. How do you manage that?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and it's a mix, because the basics of starting a company are the same as they have always been: team, tech, fundraising. The real nuance in the crypto space is community. How do you really grow a big community? But also you have to have the idea, obviously. And where does the idea come from, and how do you get that inspiration? And it either comes from you, or it comes from, which is typically the founder. So I do take a founder role. And right now I'm the co-founder and chairman of Treasury X, which is a new stablecoin infrastructure that's rolling out. Super Solana, which is a Solana L2, and WeFi, which is a crypto neobank. But what do all these things have in common? And it was kind of playing off of where my last company, Smart Media Technology, left off, which is Web3. So why are we all here today? Because we believe in decentralization. We believe in blockchain. But more importantly, where's this all leading us to? We've been in this, or I've been in this for a decade. Hopefully you guys have been in this for a long time, and some are new to the space. But you're attracted to this space because we know it is the future, and it's the future of how the world's going to do business, and it's the future of how we're going to connect with people that didn't typically have the infrastructure to do that business. And this spans from financial services all the way to fan tokens. Like Paris team probably has fans all around the world that never had an opportunity to connect, to participate, to engage. But now they can acquire a fan token for $5 and feel like they're part of the team. So that's the promise of Web3.